The chemin de fer Cartier is one of the largest and busiest private service rail operations in North America. With 260 miles of busy mainline and an impressive fleet of equipment, the Cartier exists to serve the interest of its owner ArcelorMittal, moving iron ore from the Montreuil mine to Port-Cartier. However, the operations of the Cartier, which I'll be referring to as QCM, go far beyond simply hauling ore from mine to dock. QCM began operations in 1960, 6 years after the QNS and L. The original main line consisted of 190 miles of track between Port-Cartier, formerly known as Shelter Bay, and the Lac Génin mine. In 1972, Lac Génin started to run out of iron ore, so an additional 86 miles of track were constructed to reach a new deposit at Montreuil, and a secondary operation at Fire Lake. Although Fire Lake shut down in 1984, operations resumed in 2006, and we'll get a close-up look at this operation later on. Starting our look at the QCM from the south end, we see a loaded log train for Arbec Forest Products arriving in Port-Cartier. This is the only freight that QCM hauls outside of ArcelorMittal interests, and Arbec closed its North Shore operations in November 2025, meaning that these log trains have went from sporadic to non-existent. The dirt road into the Port-Cartier Sept-Iles Wildlife Preserve isn't for the casual rail fan, but 25 miles in, the scenery is nothing short of incredible. During a quiet morning caused by a disabled ore train, we explored the line between Port-Cartier and Charles siding. Sidings on the QCM follow alphabetical order, and Charles, milepost 33, follows Abel and Baker, preceding Dog at milepost 55. Just after 11 a.m., we caught a northbound empty ore train exiting the Mile 29 tunnel, one of approximately 5 daily empties that meet a similar number of loaded trains from Montwright. QCM's locomotive roster is actually pretty similar to the Q&S&L. Red and blue AC-44 units are the backbone of the fleet, complemented by newer ES-44 and SD-70 units, which wear the corporate colors of ArcelorMittal. A handful of CEFX AC-44 units round out the roster. As many Alco fans know, the QCM formerly used, among other Alcos, a fleet of 6-axle MLW units, some of which survive on the Delaware-Lackawanna. Many rail fans gave up interest in the QCM after the Alcos were retired in the early 2000s, but motive power aside, the railway still offers some of the finest rail action in the world. We positioned ourselves above the tunnel for a shot of the southbound passenger train. Unlike Q&S&L, which hosts the twice-weekly Chouette passenger train, QCM runs its own, company-only passenger train between Port-Cartier and Love, the Division Point crew camp located at milepost 70. With the QCM South subdivision shut down for the rest of the day due to the disabled southbound ore train, we called it a day, returning the following morning to chase an empty ore train from Port-Cartier to the impressive curved bridge just south of Charles. Good morning from a very hazy, wildfire smoky Port-Cartier. Adam, are you ready for some fire dirt road chasing of ore trains?
I He was dozing off in the car, so I hope he's rested. We're getting not enough sleep on this trip, but finding time to make it up throughout the day. We got a northbound leaving, Courier painted unit on the point, some blue ex-Lisa or something trailing. This is going to be great.
Wildfires are common on the North Shore, often shutting down the main lines of the iron ore roads. There were no fires in the immediate area when we filmed the QCM, but smoke from a fire near Churchill Falls, Newfoundland and Labrador resulted in a very hazy day on the South Subdivision.
Adam, what time is it?
It's cheese time.
At milepost 23.5, we see the south approach signal for Baker Siding. QCM sidings are directional, designed for empty trains to make way for the much heavier loaded southbounds. Rail fans visiting the QCM during the warmer months should be aware that the main line is typically shut down for several hours during the day to allow maintenance of way crews to gain uninterrupted access to large portions of the line. Early mornings and late afternoons yielded the best action for us, but exploring the wildlife preserve is a great way to kill some time while waiting. Just listen for the iconic QCM defect detectors, which transmit in French, but Anglophones, like myself, should be able to understand them with just a little bit of practice.
Chemin de fer Cartier, détecteur de traînage, passage à niveau, 1000, 2, 1.
In the evening, we return to Port-Cartier for one last pair of trains. A loaded train heading south across the Dominique River, followed by an empty heading north, with one of ArcelorMittal's 5 EMD SD70 Aces on point.
That's going to do it for us today. 7 trains, including 2 chases. Pretty productive. Pretty scenic too.
This has been a fairly comprehensive look at the south end of ArcelorMittal's Quebec Cartier Railway. Stay tuned for a look at the mysterious and incredibly busy north end of the QCM. Smash the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.